Here is our abused and neglected pasture renovation project. This is kind of what we're starting with. I guess I should explain. It's been randomly, a guy goes around randomly cuts what he thinks is good grass for his rabbits to dry. He dries it and takes it home and feeds his rabbit with it for, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, 10 years. And so it's just grown up to mostly the undesirable species. He thinks, well, he knows that good stuff like alfalfa and clover will give his, even if he dries it, will give his rabbits bloat because they've been genetically engineered to require alfalfa pellets, etc., commercial food. See Joel Salatin's son on that. But he's beautiful rabbits, giant Hungarian giants. He's been breeding them for 44 years. Been around. He's 77 years old or something, and he's been around rabbits since he was 7. So he, great guy, but totally doing the wrong things, unfortunately. And the ants have moved in, and the place really is just one giant. They're probably all connected. It's just a giant ant hole. It's the wife would like to train dogs here, but it's not safe. It's rough. It's, even though I cut the grass, it's just a, if you cut the grass down to the ground, it would just look like Mars or something. It's just so far removed from just abuse and neglect. Typical, normal, human, programmed abuse and neglect of land. It's a small demonstration of what modern agriculture is doing to the entire planet. Although the guy uses a hand sickle and a hand rake or whatever, and he puts it on a little chicken wire and puts plastic over it, it's still basically simulating what commercial agriculture does. It just, except without the heavy machinery, but just destroys the place, basically. Just take what he thought was the good stuff and leave, so you get a mess. So the overall thing here is the chickens. Now again, they're chickens. They're commercial birds, rescued, whatever you want to call them. They have no beaks, so they're basically useless. They do their best. They try. They do what they can. They've learned. They relearned, recultivated that instinct to scratch and stuff. But they, there's billions of ants here, but they can't catch them. All they can eat is the larva, and they're not strong enough to. They should be able to just destroy those ant hills and eat ants all day long, pure protein diet, but they can't really. So I do hit them with the hoe sometimes, but I've kind of stopped doing that. I should get back on that program. So they're here, just we're feeding them a little bit of grain. We feed them vegetable scraps. They're eating grass. They love it. I just you can see what. I may be leaving them a little longer than I should. The first run, I feel that we should give a heavy dose of chicken manure, of the stuff that they don't eat, of the food scraps, littered over the place. Let them get through and walk through. Just even walking with their little claws, it breaks up that dead grass. It's never been broken up for years, and so they do a pretty good job of devastating it down, and then it will spring back better than it was. Just that alone will make the thing better with a little rain. Probably in our 7th or 8th week without rain, serious rain. So we're not expecting this to be green next week, but it will be better. Anyway, and they don't eat what some people call weeds, maybe, that we'd like them to kill. But whatever, it doesn't matter. There is a little bit of alfalfa here. I trimmed this once. I don't plan to trim this area very often. Once we've got these pigs and chickens in here, there's no need to fire up a gasoline engine and break your back trimming. It's just retarded. So we, and here and there, there's a bit of clover. I had to pull that guy because he was right on the fence. The fence is electric fence, but we're doing minimal. Guy next door here had a sheep for 4 days and it was dead from a stray dog. I've had these chickens for 2 or 3 months now. We haven't lost one. But the fence is quite often not even hooked up to the battery, or it's so much stuff shorting it out that it's not really effective. Lots of people have come. There's a neighbor lady brings her 2-year-old child. She walks up and grabs the fence like, don't. But it's so shorting out that it's not. So what was the point of that? I don't know. Whatever. This is just fresh grass. So just move the fence. This is just fresh grass. We're going to make a significant improvement, I hear, just by one pass, I think. So, oh yeah, so the chickens are the overarching. They have 150 square meters in the fence, and then the pig does his little. I give him food scraps, and I haven't given him much grain. I bet you I hadn't given him more than 3 or 4 kilograms of grain since we bought him. He's 5 weeks since we bought him. We think he was maybe 4 months old, 3 months old when we bought him. Food's been a little bit slim. So normally it doesn't always look like this. And I dump his water every day and move him ahead the size of his pen. Normally there's quite a bit of stuff he had, like, you know, the nice potato peels. He loves the potato peels and little chunks of potatoes. And sometimes there's peaches and watermelons. He loves peaches and watermelons and whatever. Like, there's an apple there, full apple, but I didn't cut it in half. So he could have eaten it, so he's not starving to death or whatever. Dump his water, move it ahead, give him fresh water, and then you have something that looks like this. And then I took they make soup at this place, so they have a lot of this potato washings, they call them. They wash the potatoes before they peel them. Kind of makes them pretty much peeled, like, and then somebody goes by hand and cleans out the dirty parts, and you get some nice thick pieces. He just loves eating them. He gets 30-40 kilograms a day, 50-60 kilograms sometimes, but he's eating pretty much everything. I give him beet tops, I give him corn, like weeds and that sort of thing. So then I sprinkle a little bit of a mix. I got a purple clover, and I think it's a purple or a red, it's a whatever it is, and a white clover primarily. And I put that in this sort of area. And then these potato washings are quite moist, so I kind of put them on top of that and spread it around. Sometimes I sprinkle it in where he's in, like, just maybe I just fed him in the morning. Give him 60 pounds of vegetable scraps, and I sprinkle it around his thing, so he treads it in, maybe, and, you know, and that. Put a little bit of this, and maybe throw some on what I did yesterday or whatever. That there, I had some onions. I don't really want the chickens eating that, but they quit laying there because of a big typhoon we had or whatever. So I threw, and somebody gave me some apples. I had my own apples in that typhoon, kind of a mulch, and we'll put straw. I do it right now, actually. And then to keep the moisture in those potato leavings, potato washings, I put a little bit of straw on top of that. And I'm thinking, and then sometimes I sprinkle a little more of the clover mix right on top of that. Whatever, we'll see. We haven't been doing it long enough. Yes, well, here we go. Oh no, this is a watermelon or some sort of a melon coming. But even that's good if I don't, you know. There's some clover. That's clover. That's a watermelon or some melon. You get stuff, tomatoes, whatever. You get stuff out of that. So that's what we're doing. And then this area will be clover, right? Like this is a fence line. We'll plant this to trees. About 1 meter in. Oops. Right, again, mulch is scarce. I don't want to mulch right to the property line. Why? I'd just give the benefits to the next guy. I'm going to be cheap and just kind of spot mulch around the trees. And guard the trees, and do the same program again, all back and forth, all next year, the year after, whatever, until we get either real fencing or, you know, I get pigs and train them. You can train pigs to electric fence. Could just have pigs here. You need, if you want to add the chickens though, you need the other fence. So I'd like to, you know, I like this little structure, but I'd like to also let him run free and have that just for him to go in for shade and keep his water there. And you could have 2 or 3 of them and have 4 or 5 hogs, I think, running around easy. And they go, and you could maybe not move it so often once you got the place established. And, you know, put some straw in there for them to, even in the summer, I think they'd like to burrow in some straw. But in the fall, I'm gonna have to put straw, and then then if I move it every day, it's like a waste, because same straw could work for a week. But if I move it, I'm not gonna, you know. But that's okay, because it's the first year and we're adding. And then I do this spot. Sometimes I have way too much food, so I'll mulch a tree, make little islands of fertility around the trees. And again, when we come back, that's some other waste on top of stuff. And that's one of the first trees we did, so a lot of the stuff disappeared. But that potato stuff, if you don't cover it with the straw, it just turns to rocks. I don't think clover would make it up through that. But it's good. It's making fertility. It's mulching underneath it, so that area is moist, so it'll have good regrowth. I got some